Tyler, the Creator. Pop star, rapper, fashion icon, wig enthusiast. The man's music defies strict classification and exhibits incredible range across 15 years of mixtapes, collaborations, and studio albums. So what would happen if I ignored all of that artistic context and just went into listening to the discography with an empty belly and a full pantry? This video would happen. We're doing it again, folks. Today I'm making another recipe using only lyrics, and it is Mr. Tyler Baudelaire, Wolf Haley, Troncat Ace, Igor Baudelaire, Dr. TC himself. My last video on Yang went triple platinum, and I had a lot of folks specifically asking for Tyler to be up next, so this is me delivering, and I hope you enjoy. It's actually cool to me that Tyler is up next because I would consider him a contemporary of mine in the YouTube game, considering he has his own cooking show on the Odd Future YouTube channel.
Mark's here and he's gonna show us how he makes his world-famous Eggos with cinnamon.
All my life, I've really liked syrup.
While we will not be recreating his cinnamon butter waffle recipe today, even though we technically could, as you'll see later, we will be going over all of the ingredients that we can collect from Tyler's 6 studio albums. The breakdown will include 2011's Goblin, 2013's Wolf, 2015's Cherry Bomb, 2017's Flower Boy, 2019's Igor, and 2023's Call Me If You Get Lost, the Estate Sale, which is the deluxe version of that album. Big Tyler fans will be able to tell right away that I am not covering 2009's Bastard, and there are 2 specific reasons for that. One is because we're sticking with the same rules as last time, and one of the rules dictated that it has to be from an official studio album that I'm collecting lyrics from, not mixtapes. Doesn't count. 2, and mostly the main reason, Bastard is not up in its entirety on Spotify, and I did not want to go hunting it down, and this is presumably due to sampling issues. Maybe if Tyler asked me himself, I'll recreate the entire video with Bastard content, but until then, I would hold your breath. The rules carrying over from last time also dictate that I need to pull the lyrics I'm using for ingredients, specifically from bars that Tyler rapped or sang, not anything from any of his collaborators, as much as I wanted to include the DJ drama line on a young lady feeding him French vanilla ice cream. No food category terms again, which means meat cannot give me access to all meats, and fruit cannot give me access to all fruits. I'm also not allowed to take food terms from within words that are not related, like getting pear from spear or cream from scream. I can, however, and will allow myself to break down food terms that have multiple foods within them, like jelly beans into jelly and bean, and I can also combine independent words into an ingredient. For example, goat and cheese to get goat cheese. Oh, and one more thing. A couple people pointed out last video that there were technically some consumable animals that I did not include as part of my breakdown, including things like donkeys and snakes, which I actually have eaten in my life. I do kind of see your point, but those meats aren't immediately accessible to me via my local grocery store, as well as things like cat, dog, people, other exotic things, you know. So we're gonna leave all animals out of contention unless they are specifically eaten frequently and called that when you eat them. So for example, if I get duck, I can eat duck, but you wouldn't call your dish at dinner a cow dish or a pig dish. At least I don't. It's my rules, my video. My video. With all that said, let's get to the lyric breakdown.
You're an industry plant.
How you know this shit?
Your next album is going to be mid as hell.
If I had to capture the core lyrical content of Tyler's first studio album, Goblin, in just 3 things, it would be hating your dad, jerking off, beating women. That would of course be on top of the refrain that Tyler himself delivers on Radicals. That is certainly all fine and good by me, but what can I eat off of this album? That's my question. Well, as far as core ingredients, we get access to a decent amount, starting with cheese, mushrooms, and corn. Fortunately for us, Tyler provides lyrics to use specific cheeses later on in his discography, so I can avoid my food category rule here. But I'll still mark category terms as we come across them in the discography. We continue with lemon, bread, steak sauce, which is also the name of an entire song on the album, honey, Coke, and garlic from Transylvania, which is a huge win for me as an Italian American, as I basically snort garlic. It does not stop there though, as Goblin continues with collard greens, wine, chia, cinnamon, bacon, jam, pickles, dill, both as an herb and for dill pickles, spaghetti, and ketchup. There was actually some dude who commented on my Kanye video doubting my ability to draw ingredients from Tyler's discography, and if Goblin is any indication, that will not be a problem, as we have a lot to work with and still more to cover. The last call out for base ingredients from Goblin is that there is a reference to chicken on steak sauce using the word cock, but if I listed every instance of that word across every song, we would be here all day. I don't know about you, but that's not really in my diet.
Number 12, cock.
Ladies and gentlemen, or assumedly mostly gentlemen, that is not the end of the ingredients list from Goblin, as we have more to cover. Additional food items include toast/toaster strudel, waffles, flapjacks, muffins, cake, Budweiser beer, chips, fish, tacos, salad dressing, burgers, steak, sandwiches, ramen noodles, Hot Pockets, donuts, crackers, Wendy's, Chex Mix, cookies, and soda. Dude, honestly, Tyler is making my job super easy. Goblin has so many ingredients. I could have a full-on picnic or sit-down dinner with just the ingredients provided here, but obviously we're gonna break everything else down, but I appreciate him making my job pretty easy. This is something I would more so expect from somebody like MF Doom or Action Bronson, but Tyler is definitely pleasantly surprising me here.
I be licking this nigga braids like,
Wolf is up next, and a couple things definitely carry over from Goblin, and they would be that Tyler is still a creatively gifted, lonely edgelord, and he still cannot stop talking about food, fortunately for me. From Wolf, we get cheese, goat, which will allow me to make goat cheese, as a little spoiler for later, molasses, corn, grapes, graham crackers, cream, chocolate, specifically Hershey's, marshmallows, salt, bacon, coconut, jam, beans, dill, oil, and the word palm if I need palm oil. There's already a ton of ingredients, but fortunately I also get access to lettuce and milk from Wolf, which legally permits me to use this clip in the video.
I have an idea. Lettuce, milk.
Hell no. Get the out of here. Get out of here, my stupid loser. You suck. No, we don't. Get out of here. I'm here. That's right, Brian. Take your milk with you too, my
fucking comedy. You already know it doesn't stop there, as we get additional food references to buns, churros, candy bars, Arizona iced tea, Skittles, Capri Sun, pizza, specifically and unfortunately being from Little Caesars, chips/Chips Ahoy, fish, cheeseburgers, tacos, sandwiches, Slurpees, mac and cheese, which means I can also use macaroni, donuts, crackers, and ice cream. Jeez, that's a lot of food. I certainly hope I don't miss anything and have the comment section light me up like Tyler's third album is Cherry Bomb, and I won't spare too much time getting to the ingredients other than to tell you that this album has my favorite track of his, which would be Death Camp. I obviously listened to Tyler's discography multiple times in preparation for this video, and once I got to Cherry Bomb, I really started drinking the Tyler Kool-Aid.
oh yeah!
As far as food goes, we get references to cheese, peppers, which I will use to get black pepper, cabbage, lemons, specifically lemonade, duck, goose, Mountain Dew, cream, and of course the album's namesake of cherries themselves. I interrupt this lyric breakdown to tell you that if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Just hit the button, bro. Hit the button, bro. Do it. Do it, bro. Hit the button. Fucking hit the button, bro. Hit the button. In addition to everything listed previously, we get peanuts/butter/peanut butter, beans, and pickles. Non-base ingredient food references are bountiful here as well, with juice, carne asada, popsicles, tacos, nachos, sushi, steak, sandwiches, ice cream, and McDonald's. Flower Boy was the album that introduced me to Tyler initially, and I have many fond memories of listening to his track Boredom with Rex Orange County throughout my late high school and early college years. I bet some of you were thinking that I was going to be basic and say it was See You Again, but you should know immediately that my taste in all things is esoteric and mysterious. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Flower Boy continues strong, with ingredients coming in hot, with coffee, lemon/lemonade, bread, honey, sugar, Sprite, cola, cherries, bacon, coconuts, tea, pickles, dill, and oil. Going through the discography now, you can feel a very distinct vibe switch up with this album, as Tyler seems to be making a little bit of a switch, you know? He's really stopped using gay slurs, he wants to kill people less. Really seems like he's on his best behavior with this one.
I donated to charity too. I'm really a good guy. Elsmeralda, calm down, okay? We'll get some tacos soon.
I can tell you he certainly didn't stop with the food bars, fortunate for us, delivering additional references to toast, pie, cereal, fish, and soda. Tyler's fifth album, Igor, is next up for ingredient dissection, and I do need to come clean with you guys. I did get a check from Sony Entertainment and Odd Future themselves to make this video, but I ended up spending the entire budget on this costume, as you can tell by its quality and beauty. Igor has way less ingredients, but the few that do exist include bread, sugar, and vegetables, which I will eventually use to get vegetable oil. The only other food references were to gumbo and fish. This album is less lyrically rich, so it makes sense to me that there are far less references to food of any form, but this is definitely a very big switch up from all of his other albums, as you'll see coming after this. Tyler's most recent album is Call Me If You Get Lost, but I will also be using ingredients from the songs that were included on the deluxe version of this album, The Estate Sale. Unlike the previous project, Call Me If You Get Lost is chock full of ingredients for us to utilize for our dish, including cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, and bolognese pasta sauce, jalapenos, vodka, peaches/peach cobbler, lemon heads/lemons, eggs, syrup, duck, bread, bluefin, unagi, MSG or monosodium glutamate, which is a flavor enhancer, sugar, beef, cream/ice cream, cherries, peanuts, pollo or chicken, salt, mint and tea, jelly/beans/jelly beans, carrots, and ketchup. And dude, I swear I'm not even done yet.
Oh my God, can you let me do what I need to do?
We still need to add fish, salad, croutons, Wendy's, cookies, and soda to that absolute stack of food references on this album. With the breakdown complete, we can finally draw some interesting conclusions and take a look at the entire discography as a whole. By my count, using the advanced analytical computer algorithms in my mind, I noted 63 unique ingredients across the entire discography, with 47 additional references to food in other ways, whether they are completed dishes, category terms, or otherwise. Breaking it down by album, I counted a staggering 48 food references on Goblin, 39 on Wolf, 26 on Cherry Bomb, 20 on Flower Boy, 5 on Igor, and 38 on Call Me If You Get Lost, including The Estate Sale. This easily puts Tyler's discography above Kanye's in terms of pure food references, so he takes the throne, for now. The most popular food reference is a two-way tie between fish and crackers, but I would consider fish to be somewhat of a food category term, so I suppose in the end, crackers win. If you don't consider crackers as an ingredient, we have bread at 7 references, and sugar and cherries tied at 6 references each. I'll once again throw my ingredient list up on screen for anybody who wants to check my work, but in the meantime, it is finally that part of the video where I get to decide what I'm actually going to cook. I had way more ingredients to work with here, but I already found it difficult last time with my Kanye-inspired dish to control a quantity of more than a dozen ingredients. so I decided to stick with a dozen this time to hopefully produce something a little bit more tasty and a little bit more cohesive. Tyler is known for abstaining from alcohol, so even though that there are references to alcohol throughout the discography, I will not be using it to create my dish, and this would be something new from the channel as I cannot seem to stop using alcohol. I think it may have a problem. Tyler claims on his track Massa to be a vegan, but this is purely to match the motif of him not trying to beef with other rappers, as the following track on Call Me If You Get Lost, Run It Up, has him explicitly saying he eats seafood like bluefin and unagi. All that to say, I am lyrically and thematically permitted to use meat in this dish, and I will do just that. Today's dish will be a coffee marinated beefsteak with mushroom goat cheese sauce over a garlic butter spaghetti. The dish this time incorporates 12 unique ingredients, as I mentioned, all from Tyler's discography, and they include
Coffee, garlic, black pepper, beef steak, salt, vegetable oil, mushroom, goat cheese, spaghetti, butter, lemon, parmesan.
There's no distinct logic in selecting this recipe over the thousands of others I could have created from the ingredients that were provided from his discography, but I did want to try using the spaghetti I already had at home, as well as marinating some beef, as I have not done that before. Let me cook, alright? We will start by creating our marinade for our ribeye steaks by combining brewed coffee, which I will be using this sussy chameleon cold brew for, minced garlic, a shit ton of black pepper, and some salt. We will save some of the garlic that I lovingly and passionately minced with my garlic torture chamber for use later on, so we can fry it up with our garlic butter spaghetti that everything else will sit over. I want the steaks to really absorb the marinade, so I'm going to let them sit in this cauldron for an hour total, flipping sides when I'm halfway through to fully coat. You'll notice I'm once again using aggressive flavors to contrast against one another, with the coffee, lemon, and goat cheese. But I'm doing this because Tyler, especially in his earlier work, was quite the aggressive guy, I would say, so I really want to taste him in every bite. Or...
Yo, I'm a fucking homosexual. What?
While those steaks are marinating, I'm going to begin preparing my mushroom goat cheese sauce that will coat the pasta. I'll start by heating vegetable oil in a skillet over medium heat, adding my mushrooms, and then sauteing them until they are tender, which took around 7 minutes for me. I will then reduce the heat to low, stir in my delicious crumbled goat cheese, and add some salt and juice from half a lemon. My last dish was overwhelmingly citrusy, so I'm going to hold back here a little bit. I'm going full lemon head mode and blasting the sauce with juice. While my water is boiling for my pasta, I will remove my coffee marinated steaks and begin to sear them, adding yet another dish to manage at my busy kitchen workstation. The fumes that began emanating from both the sauce and the searing steaks was like crack to my hunger-addled brain, and I began to see frightening illusions. I salted my pasta water once it hit a boil, and then congratulated myself internally for the wonderful color I was developing on my steaks. The only problem was, I could visually see that some of the parts of my steak were not cooking evenly, and the last thing I wanted to cut into at the end of this was raw steak, so I took evasive maneuvers and activated my air fryer. Those that clearly don't own an air fryer may be surprised at this, but it is both normal and possible to cook a steak in an air fryer, as it's basically a mini convection oven anyways. Sorry to spoil that air fryer lore for any who weren't caught up. Since we're somewhat off-roading the recipe at this point, I'm just going to continuously blast my steaks in the air fryer until I think that they've crisped up. In the meantime, I'm going to strain my pasta and keep it in the strainer in the sink while I use the pot's residual heat to melt some butter and fry some garlic. Once that's completed and the butter is melted and I have my garlic butter sauce prepared, I will add the pasta back into the pot. At this point, everything seems to be going pretty well, pretty swimmingly I'd say, and I'm definitely not about to... Fuck.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
We got bombs in here!
I finally retrieved my steaks from the air fryer, coat my pasta with the goat cheese and mushroom sauce, as well as add my additional Parmesan cheese, and slice my steak to prepare a bowl for final presentation. Viewers will immediately realize that my steak is very well done, which is somewhat unfortunate to me as I prefer my steaks medium most of the time, but everything else looks pretty damn good and I'm excited to dig in. I'm so hungry at this point that I really don't give a shit how this tastes, I just need to consume it as soon as possible, but I'm happy to report that this shit low-key hit like a three-wheeler hitting a tree at max speed. I'm already a big fan of the flavors that make up this dish, and unlike the Kanye dish, I think that they play relatively well together. This dish had the brightness from the goat cheese and lemon, a meatiness from the steak and the mushrooms, and a pleasant bitterness from the coffee marinade. The mushrooms themselves served as bites of intense flavor, as they did a great job of soaking up all that from the sauce. The only tweaks I would make to this dish to improve it would include mastering the timing on the cooking of the steak, obviously, to get it more medium. I would definitely add something to the goat cheese and mushroom sauce to make it more liquidy, so it would cover my pasta better. And I would add the entire juice of the lemon, which I eventually ended up doing when I ate it, and this gave it a really great bite. I'd also recommend to you, or to anyone who would attempt anything like this, to use less pasta so that the ingredients can more effectively coat everything. Outside of those few tweaks, I would say that this was a pretty well-rounded and complex dish by my standards, so I would give it overall an 8 out of 10. If you like this video, please leave in the comments who you want to see next on this challenge. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I really appreciate you sticking around to the end. That helps the channel more than you can know, so genuine thanks from me to you. Until next time.